Live from our jungle-like garden on the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. And this is actually Wendy's channel, not my channel. I just kind of commandeer it and shoot videos for Wendy. Otherwise, she might just neglect it. There she is. There's the beautiful. Wendy does have two accommodations here, and they are kind of Hawaiian themed, right? Aloha. Aloha I komo mai. Welcome. Come on in. And we do grow a lot of palm trees in this part of Canada. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people think, well, palm trees in Canada? Yeah, we do have palm trees here, man. And no shortage of them on this property, I'll tell you that. We have thousands of palm trees all through the forest just because I scatter a lot of seed through there. And right now it's a beautiful day. It's probably sitting around 70 degrees Fahrenheit for my American viewers, which is around 21 degrees Celsius. And absolutely beautiful. We got blue sky, maybe a little bit of a light haze in certain areas up there. I just finished watering part of the garden. At this time of the year is the dry season. So lots of watering. It does entail a lot of watering of certain plants. So I'm going to show you some super cool plants here. And I'll give you the Latin names. And I will give you the regular names too for you gardeners out there. All right. So, well, we'll start with these ones. So the main palm tree we grow here, the main type of palm tree is Trachycarpus fortunei. Chinese windmill palm is the common name. They're native to China, and they are very easy to grow in this climate. They'll grow about 40 feet of trunk. And a lot of these ones I've seed grown over the years. There's male and female. We have them coming into bloom right now. The males are blooming. The females are a little bit behind. And hopefully my Starlink here doesn't crap out if I get out of range. And I'll just have to get back into range. So I'm going to show you something. There is a female flower spath coming out of a Trachycarpus fortunei palm. There's the trunk. These ones I planted in the early 1990s. And let's just see. I should take these glasses off, put my reading glasses on. Welcome to live chat. Okay. And you guys are more than welcome to comment in here, okay? So anyway, these are a fan palm. And like I say, they are native to the mountains of China. There's several species in the genus. This is one species of many. And like I say, there we go. We're live again. See, it crapped out the internet. Hey, how's it go there, Caleb? So anyway, we'll go down and check out the tree fern, okay? The Dicksonia. We'll show you our other tree ferns. We have two Tasmanian tree ferns, and we have two Australian tree ferns. All right, long time no see. Yeah, I'm glad you tuned in. I got home from work at around 11 a.m., and I figured, you know what I said yesterday, some people, I'm going to do a live stream here on Wendy's channel. I'm just using her Android. It's easier. So here's Cyathea cooperi. These are Australian tree ferns. And you can see they've actually unfurled some fronds, and there's more coming out. And here's another one here. You can see the fronds. So these are less cold hardy. I shouldn't touch those, but the less cold hardy than the Dicksonia antarctica. So when it gets really cold, they have to come inside. Otherwise, they are going to freeze. But you can see the fiddleheads coming out of the trunk. They get a skinnier trunk, and they are faster growing. I think hardiness maybe in the lower 20s Fahrenheit, something like that. And I'm going to show you the Dicksonia antarctica. Nope, that was we were going to move to Costa Rica, but that fell through because the mandates came in to Canada. Trudeau, the dictator, brought in mandates. We didn't take the jab. So if you didn't take the jab, you couldn't travel anywhere. You couldn't leave the country. We had a 6-month process to get all our immigration stuff done, which we did. And then the Costa Rican consulate actually lost our wedding marriage certificate because we got married in the States. We got married in Maui. So I had to send that back to Honolulu. I had to get another one redone by the time that was up. The 6 months had lapsed up. So nope. It's something told us we better not move there, right? So we're here, and that's just the way it is. That's what the government did here in Canada. I call them the corrupt government. Anyway, I don't want to talk about them because I don't like government stuff. Anyway, here's the Dicksonia antarctica right there. That is a Tasmanian tree fern. This one has 6 feet of trunk on it. And it's also called a man fern. This one was imported from Tasmania in September 1991. And I was gifted it from a friend in the Palm Society. Hey, how's it going there, house? I was gifted this one. And I planted it in April 1994. I'm going to show you the trunk on it. There's the trunk right there. It's got 6 feet of big trunk. There's a Chamaedorea radicalis growing beside it, some Aspidistra elater, which is cast iron plant, and lots of Trachycarpus palms. So this here is last year's fronds. All of these fronds around here are last year's fronds. These ones here are this year's flush. So those come out every year. So this is basically, how's the new guy? How's the new guy? The new guy. So these are this year's flush right here. So what do you think of that? Pretty awesome, eh? So it sends out about 20 fronds or so each year. It is an evergreen plant here until temperatures drop to 20 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. If it gets down to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 6.5, you can pretty much count on those fronds getting destroyed, but new ones will come out in the spring. Since I planted this thing over 31 years ago, it's probably lost the fronds on it, I don't know, 4 times, maybe 5 times over 31 years. Will the tree grow in Victoria, Joe? If you give it the right protection. So I'm going to tell you what to do with the Tasmanian tree fern. The trunk, I'm going to tell you the hardiness of this plant, okay? Cold hardiness. It is a zone 9A plant, okay? And we're in the low end of zone 9A and into high end of zone 8B. I wish I could grow these here in zone A without protection. Well, yeah, without, but you can protect them. You can cheat a little bit if you want. So you plant this big tree fern, you spend $20 a trunk inch, your first winter comes, it's a bad one, and your tree fern dies. See, so most people I know that have lost their tree ferns, this is probably the only one left on Salt Spring. There might be maybe 1 or 2 left, so besides mine. But those guys do protect them. So what I do, I stuff cocoa fiber and burlap, and then I put bubble plastic on top of that on the center, in the inner crown where the big fiddle heads come out. And then I put a little rock on top to hold it on. That's what I do. That's how I protect this plant. If it got really, really cold, you could even bubble wrap the trunk. But never worry about the fronds, okay? Like I said, at 20 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 6.5, you can kiss those fronds goodbye. But if the center of the tree fern is protected, the most frost tender part, then new ones will always come out in the spring. The trunk is hardy to about minus 9 degrees Celsius. So around 15, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. And the fronds about minus 6.5, but the center of the crown is way less hardy. I'm going to say maybe 25, 24 degrees Fahrenheit, short term. You know, if it's a long freeze, it's going to be frickin' toast. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's how to protect a tree fern. There's another Trachycarpus palm right there, a female with lots of flowers on it right there. That's been outside since in late 1989. That's when it was given to me. I didn't grow that one from seed. And it sat there for years doing nothing until we got the big cedar tree cut down here and a massive eucalyptus tree beside it. So that was root competition. Now there's no root competition. And last year it grew 2 feet of trunk. It's crazy. It's growing like a weed. I'll flip this thing around so you can actually see it. There it is, right. I'm going to go up closer to it. Hopefully my internet doesn't die here. Right there. You can see the flowers on this thing. Isn't it beautiful? This is amazing. And it self-seeds like a weed. So that's Trachycarpus fortunei. And I just let the seeds drop off of this thing. There's a Trachycarpus nova cross wagnerianus. There's sable minors in there. That one was cut down with a chainsaw about 4 or 5 years ago, and look at the trunk on it now. It's got about 4 feet of trunk pretty much on it. Came right back, pretty much cut down to ground level with a chainsaw. Arborist did that. And then there's another one flowering for the first time in there over 30-something years, a female. And some Fatsia japonica. There's strawberry tree, Arbutus unido. These ones get the fruit you can eat. These were really big trees, but the arborist cut them down when they had to remove some other things in here. So let's just walk through the upper part of the garden. I can't go too far just because the internet will crap out on me. So there you go. There's the trunk from the tree fern. Cast iron plant's a nice hardy evergreen plant. They usually sell as an indoor plant, Aspidistra. So cast iron plant, really tough. This has been outside here for 20-something years, maybe 30 years. There's a dwarf parlor palm, been outside since 1997. That's a Chamaedorea radicalis. And then we have this Chamaerops humilis, Mediterranean fan palm, Phoenix canariensis, my seed grown. Down there we have needle palms. You can see them, needle palms there. There's more needle palms down there. So those are Rhapidophyllum hystrix. Those are a nice palm too. And I'm going to show you our Oh, actually, this one's coming into bloom too. Look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Nice big flowers coming out of this baby. Nice thick trunks. The palms up here get really thick trunks. Hey, Cat Marin, thanks for joining into Gulf Island Rock. You know my channel, I have two YouTube channels myself, and it's Banana JSSI and also Jungle Josie Video Gates. We'll head up to the Radio Shack after, and I'll show you where I broadcast with and do the live video gates. So here is a, it's taken a little bit beat up, it kind of dried out. This is a bird of paradise. I love Camadori radicalis. I have some that grew from seed. Cool. Awesome. They're great palms. They're very cold hardy too, believe it or not. I've had that in the ground since 97. I don't do anything with it, no protection. So here is a Strelitzia regia. This one here is a bird of paradise, and guess what? 1, 2, and I know there's a third one. Oh, there's a third one right there. Third flower spike. So last year was the first time it flowered in about 20-something years. I started miracle growing it. Bang, flowering. There's a Washingtonia robusta. They're pretty useless short-term palm here. I've seen Washingtonia survive here for many years in the ground, nearly a decade. And there was one in a garden. I had it featured in HPI, Hardy Palm International, more than once back in the 90s, and the new owners of the place cut it down. Unfortunately, I think it was a filibuster. This is a Martianus, Trachycarpus martianus, less hardy than Trachycarpus fortunei. And we actually have yuzu. There's yuzu lemon here. This is a really good Japanese lemon. And then here's one of my seed-grown southern magnolias down there. And that's a native dogwood. Yeah, I gotta love Camadoria radicalis. And then there's another one called Microspadex too. And I've seen really nice Camadoria Microspadex growing in a Victoria garden. Jeff, in the palm side, he actually sold his place a couple of years ago. I can't believe it was a palm paradise. Big garden, or not a big garden, but a nice sized garden full of mature palm trees. Most he grew from seed. And so let's just see, what else do we have here? Let's go up. Oh, there's a Meyer lemon with a trachea growing out. Tracheas grow everywhere. So that's Meyer lemon. There's a bamboo grove down here. We have a lot of bamboo. I'm going to flip this around. Lots of bamboo. There's Sassa palmata, and there's all different types down there. Fargesia robusta. There's Philostachys bambuzoides, Pseudosassa japonica. There's, what else? Robert Young. There's some Philostachys nigra. You name it. It's just taken over down there. You can see the eucalyptus tree popping out of there too. So lots of bamboo. Don't even really go down here. But we look at it off the sun deck. You can see the palms just kind of naturalized down there. Lots of palm trees. And there's a Caibiensis eucalyptus coming up beside those gunny eyes. Yuzu lemons are pretty hardy. I would get, yeah, they're very good. And good for you. You can use the peels too. These are bay trees. And bay trees have naturalized here. We have so many bay trees. They're beautiful. You could never dig them out though because they're growing in rock. These are all bay laurel trees. There's like a grove of them in there. Dozens of them growing from the mother tree up there. And so no shortage of bay leaf. Use it for your cooking. And you don't eat the leaves like that, but you put them in stews or pasta sauces or whatever. And they are super drought tolerant. This is a new growth on this one is a tanbark oak or Lithocarpus henryi, and you can see little acorns forming on it. This one's native to, I think, northern coastal California and southern Oregon, but lots of new growth. Wendy's got to keep clipping this thing back, right? So my buddy grew that one from seed, gave it to me as a seedling back in the early 90s, and that's when I planted it there. Do nothing with it. Absolutely drought tolerant and neglected. There's some figs in here, brown turkey figs, or it could be Cadota. Anyway, they're super nice. They're really black figs, super sweet. So it could be something else, but really, really nice. There's a pomelo. There is Tetrapanax papyriflorus steroidal giant right there. Somebody gave me that and it's doing really good. The key is keep them watered, right? Keep them watered well. I had one in the ground, just kind of dried out, and I think then the rabbits ate it, but pomelo is a citrus, and you can see some tracheas growing around it. Sable minor from Arkansas, from the city of Warren in the southwest corner of Arkansas. My seed grown. Have a greenhouse full of those things. Cymbidium orchid. That one comes in when it gets cold. Brugmansia candida. And then there's lots of waggies here too. We have no shortage of waggies. Trachycarpus wagnerianus palms. This stayed out all winter. That's been in there since a seedling. That's a cordyline. I'm going to have to plant that in the ground. Look at it. Pushing up the roof. So this is one of our accommodations here. magnolia petal accommodation. And this is the front entrance to the accommodation. There's 30-foot laurel trees. I grew those from cuttings many years ago. And then, like I say, that's Norfolk Island pine. That stayed out most of the winter. I only brought it in through the cold snap in early February. So it was inside a cool basement for probably about maybe a week, something like that. And then I threw it back out. And then there's a Kentia palm there. And another Phoenix canariensis. There's Bambuzoides. That's giant timber bamboo. There's Phyllostachys silicata, and there's Pseudosassa japonica. This is actually a cool plant. You like a nice BLE, a broadleaf evergreen. That is Viburnum retidophyllum. That's leather leaf viburnum. Really, really nice plant and very hardy. It'll grow like a small tree. It's growing beside a Eucalyptus debusavilli snow gum. There's lots of Nandina domestica in here, which is heavenly bamboo. This is native Sambucus. That's elderberry. And then the western sword ferns are evergreen. Evergreen stuff. Even bear's breech, Acanthus mollis, evergreen. And then there's some Yucca gigantea. Those ones I grew from cuttings. We'll spin this around and we'll go through the garden here and we'll show you what it's like here in the front. Some of you guys watch the videos so you know, but we're doing it live today. This is a myrtle, Myrtus communis. What's your favorite plant you have in your garden? I think Tasmanian tree fern, maybe. I think the Dicksonia antarctica. If I ever move from here, I'm taking that. And a good friend of mine gave me that. And he says, if you ever move, you got to take that plant with you. So guess what? I got to take that plant with me. They're easy to move. You just take a chainsaw, cut it off at the base, cut the fronds off, carry that log out. They're heavy, and plant it somewhere else. Because the whole trunk consists of roots. So here is another these are all Trachycarpus palms in here. Western sword fern in one of my tiki heads. What do you think of that? Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's hardy. And then there's a Camarops there with a sable minor, and there's another sable minor down there. And I also like Rapidophyllum hystrix too. I love needle palms. Needle palms and sable minors are one of my favorites. So this is a really nice plant, the myrtle, and it's been there since I probably planted that 30 years ago. Bought it over at Elk Lake Nursery in Victoria, near Victoria, Saanich area. Fatsia japonica trees, we have no shortage of those. And I'm not going to go to the front yard. We have, I'll spin this around. Hey, said hi. We say hi back to your house. And Mayu redwood tree. I planted those as saplings many years ago. That's the blue one, or the green one. And beside it on the other side is Aptos blue. This plant right here, this tree I grew from seed too. That's called a Heteromeles arbutifolia. And it actually got whacked in the winter. It got really damaged, not this winter, but the winter before. It's the first year I've ever seen that thing get really damaged. It got down to minus 8.5 degrees here briefly, and that was enough to really kind of damage some really marginal plants, but it came back again. I got to do some clipping on it, but it's got lots of growth. It blooms white. Butterflies, bees like it, and then it gets these nice red berries the birds like. Yeah, I like sables too, house man. They're awesome. Totally awesome palms. One of my favorites. Sable palmettos, sable minor, all that stuff. This is a nice one here, Sarcococa ruscifolia. This is Himalayan sweet box. If you want something that blooms in the winter and provides a sweet scent, Himalayan sweet box. We got a bunch of these around. There's another one just over there. Okay, so we're going to wind our way through this exotic jungle garden. And I'll spin this around so you can see what we're looking at here. And you know, you can actually create a garden this far north. We're 48 degrees north latitude. And it doesn't even really look like you're in Canada anymore, does it? Kind of like, what the hell? Where is this guy? That's not Canada. You know, so you could actually really fool people when you start taking photos. But, or shoot videos. And some people have actually commented on my videos like, oh, you're full of crap. There's no palm trees in Canada. Well, people, you got to do your homework, okay? Because we have the ocean around us, we also have the offshore Japan current and the North Pacific current. It does regulate the air temperatures here, so there's no extremes, okay? There's another bay tree. And they do get berries on them, and they do self-seed. They flower. They get yellow flowers. Sable. Okay, so I'm going to spin this around again. Okay, so these are Fatsia trees. Lots of Fatsia trees here. Love Fatsia japonica. I planted these ones in the early 1990s, and they are growing with Nandina domestica. And in here, tender eucalyptus. That one got, I'm going to spin this around. This tender eucalyptus tree got fried after many years of growing. Mid-January 2024, nuked it. This one came back. Don't really know the species of that one, but it actually did come back. So we'll leave it. And these ones are hardy, so they weren't damaged at all. Those are Passiflora. There is a Chamaerops humilis palm, Mediterranean fan palm. This rhodo was spectacular. I got to deadhead it. When you deadhead a rhodo, you just take those flowers and just kind of break them off right there, just like that. And then it'll bloom more next year. Another self-seeded bay tree in there. Didn't you guys get like a foot of, nope, no foot of snow. We had 7 inches of snow here. Depends where you live too, you know what I mean? It's all depends on topography. There we go, we're live. It kind of loses signal. So yeah, we had 7 inches of snow in early February, and I do have videos of it on Banana JSSI and on this one. I shoot a lot of shorts on this video, on this channel. Okay, so we're gonna make our way through the jungle here. This is a nice one too, Osmanthusberg woodii. Flowers are white and fragrant. And plum tree I planted, hopefully my signal doesn't die. In the early 1990s, I pushed a seed there in the rock, and there it is, it's still growing. And after 30 years, it's only got a little trunk on it. Crazy, huh? Remember, height of a palm doesn't determine its age, and age doesn't determine its height. It all stems from the roots. There's some Phylostachys vivax, and this is, I think, some Fargesia robusta in here, bamboo. These are a great plant. Still a lot of snow. Oh yeah, well, we're in Canada, man. You know what I mean? And sometimes it picks up some steam, the cold Arctic air, when it comes down from the Alaska, and it picks up moisture off the Pacific Ocean, and we can get a good dumping of snow. The most snow it's ever been recorded here is 28.5 inches. I have pictures of it. It was in December, just after Christmas, 1996. 28.5 inches of snow, man. It was up to my knees. It was insane. And the low temperature that year was around minus 7.2 Celsius or something like that. But it was the snow. Remember, snow doesn't harm plants. It's extreme cold, because some people say, well, how can your plants handle snow? Snow's not a problem. Snow will bend and sometimes break things, but it's extreme cold, prolonged cold, especially if it's accompanied by wind. So if you have outflow winds, which we don't get, we get zero cold wind here, which there used to be a grove of eucalyptus trees here that are 100 feet tall. And they were getting so big and they're so dangerous, we had them all cut down. I had them all cut down about 4 years ago. You could see videos of our eucalyptus trees. They're massive. I grew them from seed. I had a grove of probably a dozen Eucalyptus Dolarum Pliana mountain gums. They brought an 80-foot bucket truck here at the arborist, and they still couldn't reach the top. They're still 20 feet short of the top of these trees, man. They were big trees, so I did a lot of splitting, a lot of firewood. Yeah, snow never hurts plants. Matter of fact, before a bad freeze, you want a lot of snow, because you know what snow is? Snow is an insulator, and it will protect smaller plants. And these palm trees can handle snow. Snow doesn't bother. Look at the spiders, little baby spiders on there. Oh my God. Anyway, this is a nice plant right here, and some plants are more brittle than others, especially like southern magnolia and Mexican orange. The odd time you'll lose a branch. This did a back there, so I put some tape on it, but overall they did pretty good. They kind of flattened out, and the wet we get here is pretty wet. There's spiderweb fuchsia. It is a great insulator, man. So yeah, and that's the problem. When we had that bad freeze in early mid-January 2024, the snow kind of came after the bad freeze, so it damaged a lot of stuff. Chamaerops humilis, and there's some cactus in here, and there's agaves, you know, a neglected cactus patch, a bunch of opunches and stuff like that. And there's more palms and stuff in there, and rhodos. It's a really big garden. I'm showing you guys a very small part of a very big garden. I can't go all over because the Wi-Fi will crap out. Another palm here, and then if you look in here, there's seedlings all over the place, right? There's like no shortage of palms. If I start pulling these away, you can see all the palms in here. We'll go into the courtyard. Those are all Trachycarpus palms. They're freaking weeds. So whoever buys this place is going to get a lot of palm trees. This is Yucca gigantea. I planted that in June 2007. And it's funny, my ex-wife used to have a daycare here called Jungle Gym Daycare. And there was a couple that were moving away. Their daughter used to come to the daycare. And they're moving up north 100 miles. And they says, hey, Joe, we got a plant you might be interested in. It's a house plant. And I says, well, what is it? She says, it's some type of yucca. And you can have it if you want it. I says, yeah, they brought it over. And I says, oh, okay, that's Yucca elephantippes. Formerly known as Yucca elephantippes. It is a Yucca gigantea now. So they said, if anybody's going to make this thing survive outside, it'll be you. Because they always had it as a houseplant. They had it for 20 years, okay? So I planted it outside in June 2007. And there's the trunk on it right there. Put my foot by it so you can see it's pretty good sized trunk. And yeah, it's amazing that this thing has actually made it through the winters. I put a plastic thing over. You've probably seen the videos I've shot. I got a simple little thing made out of PVC, and I just throw kind of a plastic tarp over top of it, kind of translucent, and it's done really well. It has taken a bit of freeze damage, but it still hasn't killed this thing. So, and these are Yucca gloriosa. So if I ever decide to let this big one freeze, I got Yucca gloriosa in there too. You must feel like you're in a Canada's... Oh, yeah, pretty much, especially when the weather's warm, Mark. And here's some more Waggy, Trachycarpus wagnerianus. Love Trachycarpus wagnerianus and the hybrids. Euonymus, Wendy plants this stuff. And there's camellias are finished blooming. And what else do we have here? Let's spin this around. And then there's olive. We have another olive over there. We have olives in the back. Photinia fraseri is a nice plant. This one's really nice, the Chinese laurel. This one, I'm not sure what it is. I forget the name. It gets purple bell flowers on it, tiny. And it's native to South America. And it was actually slightly damaged in mid-January 2024. And it's got really wicked needles on it, but it is a very exotic plant. If anything gets damaged here in the winter, then it's really on the edge, because not often we have winter damage here. There's a Acer glyceum, that's paperbark maple. Wendy loves these, so that's her baby. Another Sericococa ruscifolia. More Camarops over by the Tiki Hut. Kiwis are crazy. The kiwi vines have gone insane. We have huge kiwi vines, and they're loaded with flower buds. So planted those, got in the early 1990s. There's a southern magnolia. And then over here, so annoying when oh, there we go. We're live again. Okay. I got too far from the router. There's trouble right there. See that dog? That dog is trouble, aren't you? He's getting old. Hey, Kahoo. He barks at the ravens. So anyway, there's a male Trachycarpus fortunei blooming. There is a tiny Tasmanian tree fern, and you can see the little fronds coming out of it. That's Dicksonia antarctica. I planted that there probably 5 or 6 years ago, at least, maybe 6 years ago. Really slow growing, but hey, it's made it, and it's evergreen. Lots of trachys in here, and then there's a big male palm blooming right there, and then female blooming for the first time. And I shot a video of this the other day on my channel. First time in over 30 years, we got blooms on this one that's only got about 3 feet of trunk on it or so. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Female. So we know that's going to get pollinated from that. And then we have another one right there with 3 feet of trunk on it, blooming for the first time in 30 years. And yeah, lots of Trachycarpus palms here. And Wendy's baskets. We got some nice black. Look at these black velvet petunias. Aren't they amazing? Absolutely beautiful. And then there's Phoenix canariensis, or lilacs have finished blooming. And what else do we have here? I'm going to show you off the back. Hibiscus, hardy hibiscus. Gara, which is a nice plant. Star choice. There we go. Sorry, man. The Wi-Fi died. Star choice. There we go. Sorry, man. The Wi-Fi died. I hope I'm on the Starlink and not the one of our other ones. All right. So anyway, I'll show you the view, which you've probably seen. This is the view when we're in the kitchen. We look out at that. Pretty much every window you look out of, you are going to get a palmy view, even in winter. Makes you feel like you're somewhere else, even on those crappy winter days. All right, so we're going to look over the back here. Just another Waggy. Daphne's a nice one. This is a strawberry tree, Arbutus marina. This is a different one. This is a really nice tree right there. So that's not the native one, right? House. Thanks, buddy. There, and then this one here is our native one, which I actually dug out when it was tiny a couple of years ago, and it's actually growing. We have native Pacific Madrona all over the place, right? These are Arbutus mintzesii. They finish flowering, and then they get berries on them. Yeah, they're messy trees. They're evergreen. They're BLE. They peel bark like a eucalyptus, and they drop bark, and they drop leaves, and they drop berries, and they drop their flowers. They're the messiest trees, but they're beautiful trees. They need exact requirements to grow. Okay, so we're going to look over here, and we definitely have lots of palm trees down here too. There's some sables down there too, apple trees, Guatemalan cherry, which is evergreen. There's a loquat, Irobotria japonica. Wendy loves her flowers. Lots of flowers in there. That gets fruit on it you can eat. Then there's sables down there too. They're hard to see. There's sable costiera and sable minor. I'm going to have to clean out around them. And there's figs. We have a lot of fig trees too. There's another fig there. And figs here, getting lots of figs on them. This one produces really yummy figs. Pick them right off the sun deck. There's a eucalyptus snow gum. That was big tree at one time. I cut it down with a chainsaw, and it just was getting too big, and it came back, which was nice. It's self-seeded. There's other ones growing down there. And I'm looking off the back sun deck, and you can see down in the ravine there's a creek. There's a pond. The creek goes into the ocean across the street. Fargesia robusta bamboo grove. There's a Taxodium distichum, a bald cypress tree growing in the water, and that has produced a ton of knees. They're growing up through the Petasites japonicus. There's pineapple guava down there, Fijoa celoiana, growing beside a Recurbifolia yucca. Then there's olive trees down in here. Lots of bamboo, lots of palms. No shortage of palms. Cistus down there too, which will be blooming soon. And then here, look at these beautiful palms. That's just growing. Yeah, that's what I'll miss about this place. When we sell one day, which one day we will sell, somebody was going to enjoy. I hope they enjoy them as much as us, because I'm going to miss them. But I'll have to plant some more at our new place. It was bad, but it went quick. As soon as I got into it, the line went. So this is a needle palm native to the southeastern states, the most cold-tolerant palm tree on the face of the earth. Where do you want to move to? If we move, it'll be Vancouver Island. I've lived here a long time on this island, and I think time to move on soon. I just think about as we get older, I'm 61, Wendy's 65. Do I really want to move when I'm 85 or 80, whatever? No, I don't. I want to do it sooner than later. So I'm thinking sooner than later. So, eventually, probably sooner than later, the house will go on the market. And if it sells, it sells. I'm not in a hurry to move because I do enjoy it here. But when it does, and have to move on, right? To another, maybe a new house and in a smaller yard. Because this is acreage here. Beautiful property. No neighbors. Very quiet. Walking distance to the beach right across the street. It's absolutely gorgeous here. You come out, you stand out here and you just hear birds. Morning, you hear birds. There's lots of wildlife, deer down in here. I remember when you put it on the market. Yeah, we did. We actually had it on the market. Well, we were going to move away, and then we took it off. We said, no. Wendy said, nope. She got sick and tired of people looking through the house, too, because we have 2 accommodations here, and it was starting to really annoy her. It's like it was hard to schedule it, running a B&Bs here, because it's the busy season, right? It's really hard. When you have people staying here, we had a 2 checkouts today, and then we got check-ins coming, right? So you have to clean the rooms and this and that. So you can see the Douglas firs here. Those are Douglas fir trees. Beautiful. So when we want firewood, cut some of those down, and I buck them up. And what else are we going to look at here? We are going to try to move on in. Oh, there's a Serenil repens. This one I grew from seed. That's a beautiful tree. So I plant one outside, and was it last year? Yeah, it was the mid-January 2024 freeze nuked it. They're not hardy. I lost one in the 1980s too. They're not a long-term palm here, maybe unless you have an overhang or something. But if you get a really bad freeze, I think they're going to nuke these things. So probably better in the deep south. I know somebody that grows one in Arkansas, freezes down every so often and comes back up again. So saw palmetto, used for men's prostate. They use the seeds from that. So saw palmetto, you've probably heard of it. All right, so let's, there's a Wagyu over here too. Let's see, there's some more of those black. There, we're live again. Man, that's really annoying. This Starlink, we have Starlink and it's on the roof up there, but when I get too far from it, it craps out. I'll flip it around and I'll show you our Starlink. Starlink is right there on the roof. See that white thing like there? It's not really a dish. It's kind of flat like a rectangle. So that is Starlink. No lawn to mow. We don't have any lawn, and it's a really low maintenance garden. So whoever gets this place is going to get a low maintenance garden. So Wendy this weekend has a she shed tour. It's going to be busy. It's equivalent to a man cave, and a she shed is a woman's man cave. And we had one several years ago, and we had about 285 people come through the garden, through this area. So this area is going to be set up. She's going to have tents set up, all her artwork. So it's basically, that's her art gallery, an 8x8 art gallery, because Wendy is an artist. Variegated Fatsias. This is jasmine here. There's a clematis. We have lots of clematis, never grew in. So when this blooms, it smells really tropical. Fatsia trees here, big Fatsia trees. And then there's more palms in here. And these things come up everywhere, these Trachycarpus palms, right there. They're weeds, man. They are weeds. They're everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of palm trees on this property, and don't have to do anything with them. So some more blooming over there by the kiwis. These are pretty good sized palms. More in there, under the jasmine, under the variegated fatsias. She bought a bunch of clanchos yesterday. She puts these in the baskets in front of the B&B. Euonymus elata, that's burning bush. And then there's, oh, that's blooming right now too, eh? The red leaf sambuca. That's elderberry. And there's lots of cool ferns and stuff there. Wendy's really big into ferns. So there's the big leaf magnolia. You can see flower buds up there, which is cool. It's deciduous. And there's my man cave right there. A yew tree beside it. And then in here we got Schefflera, some nice Schefflera trees. I'll show you. Big palm in the distance there, you can see, and then there's more farther that way and over at the other studio. And then this is my man cave here. Now, if I can get beyond here, please don't die, signal. I'm going to try to get to the Flora taiwaniana, another Schefflera taiwaniana, black lace sambucus. There's the side of my man cave. That's my radio room. So I broadcast all over the world. And some more aspidistra. And fatsias. Oh, there's so many fatsias in here. It's like a jungle in here. It really is. It's beautiful. Lots of bamboo. When it gets hot out, you come in here. It's nice and shady. Camellias, evergreen ferns, euonymus, elaeagnus, you name it. It's growing in here. There's a Chilean guava right there. That's a weed, Daphne laureola. There's more Serica and native western sword ferns, Escallonia from South America. And I don't know how far I can actually get out here. Let's just see. Let's see how far we can get out here without it dying. There. What do you think of that? There's some big palms. That's a female. I call that one the palm beast, man. It is thick, the trunk on her. And she's got lots of flowers coming out. And lots of seedlings everywhere around that thing. They're coming up in the driveway. Viburnum tinus, there's beech, copper beech. Variegated the back of her gallery. Right there. And this one's got a living roof on it. It's pretty cool. Another fatsia, one of my seed-grown fatsias right here. Look at the growth coming out on these fatsias. And there's some really big fatsias over there too. You can't really see them. They're in behind the Japanese maples. Wendy loves her Japanese maples. So this is all irrigated. Look at these ferns. Aren't they spectacular? Evergreen. And evergreen, you come out in the wintertime, they look just as nice. There is and we have a lot of these around too, the waxleaf privet. Ligustrum, Japanese waxleaf privet. So anyway, guys, that's part of the garden. There's some more fatsia in front of her little she shed. Beautiful fatsias. I love fatsias because they always look nice, right? And they're fully cold hardy, right? Fully cold hardy for this growing zone. So, hey, man, there. So this is part of the garden, right? Part of the garden. And like I say, my other YouTube channel is Jungle Joe C Video Gates. And when I broadcast on that channel and shoot videos, I step into my man cave. And my man cave looks like this. So there's one of my antennas up there that I use. That's a beam antenna, a Yagi. And I talk all over the world on that. I talked all 50 states many, many, many times. And maybe about 80-something countries. So we'll turn this on. And there. This is my radio room here. You can see this is where I broadcast from. My lollipop mics. And well, my man cave too, right? It's all my junk in here because I used to be in the house and Wendy kicked me out a couple of years ago because I just make too much noise. I don't have an inside voice, you see? So out into the man cave. This used to be her art studio, but now it's my radio room. I was reluctant to get out into this man cave. I didn't want to be outside. It's 40 feet away from the house, but it is soundproof. It's insulated. She can't hear me. And it's really good on a winter day. And, you know, every day I come in here and I talk to people. So I've been doing this since 1977, and I've had a lot of people over the years, you know, gardeners and stuff, send me seeds from places I've talked to, which is kind of cool. So another guy I talked to in Arkansas, he sent me a bunch of sable miners. He said, I go hunting hogs down there. Said he would hunt hogs down there in the southwest corner of Arkansas. So yeah, good CB Radio, Justin Partridge, Shooting Star. Good to see you, Justin. Thanks for coming in there. 1985, Virginia. Yeah, so this is it. And like I say, my other YouTube channel is Banana JSSI. And Jungle Joe C Video Gates, all right? So there we go. This is the Radio Shack. And I'll be in here after I finish watering the rest of the garden. I got to go down and do the water the nursery. So anyway, I'm going to head back out and finish this live stream here on Wendy's channel. Thanks. I'm glad you like the radio room. Yeah, there's a lot of junk in here. A lot of junk in this thing. But you know what? There's my old car. What do you think of that one? 1973 Nova SS. Yeah, I missed that thing. I should have kept it. Had it for over 13 years. It was a fast car. Really fast car. And all done up. I had that thing done up to the max, man. 420 something horsepower, which isn't a lot of horsepower in this day and age, but I tell you, back in the 80s and 90s, it sure was. All right, spin this around. We'll head out and we'll finish up the live gate here, the live stream, not the live gate, the live stream on the sun deck. Here's another arbutus. This is arbutus tree right here, native arbutus. Like I say, messy trees. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the live gate. I just got a sideband CB radio. Oh, cool. Oh, excellent, man. You got like sideband. You definitely get the distance with sideband. I mean, I've talked to a lot of places on AM, but you definitely get better distance and better clarity. It's like comparing AM radio to FM radio. FM radio sounds a lot better than AM, right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the radio room's kind of surrounded by vegetation. And the cool thing is, I'll flip this around. That's the radio shack there, okay? So there's the radio shack. You can see the orange globe butterfly bush blooming right there. Isn't that cool? Orange ball butterfly bush. The Shake building is my radio room. That's a shed. I got, my chainsaws and everything in there. And Wendy built that radio shack. She actually built it, man. I mean, I had to cut some holes in there with my chainsaw. She put windows in, helped her with the roof. But yeah, she was the radio shack lady. She built that for herself as an art studio. And like I say, I got too noisy inside my radio room in the house. And so she booted me out there. But yeah, no, it's far enough away from the house. She don't hear me. It's really well insulated. There's one of my other antennas. I got a bunch of antennas up. There's 4 antennas up. There's another one way over there too. Beautiful car. Play me some good car. Yeah, that's a beautiful car. Yeah, no, I love my Nova, man. It was a fun ride. I had that thing so done up, the engine. It was a 69 350 cubic inch I put in it, right? So I took out the engine in that Nova and I put in an older engine out of an Impala. And then I got it done up. I took it into a Thunderbolt Racing engines and I told them what I wanted done to it. And I got the block back after a month and 2 days. I remember I was 18 years old. It was late 1982, October 82. And put it in myself, put the tranny in and everything like that. It was a standard. And my dad did all the body work and paint. He was a body man, really good one too. Then I put a different differential in it. I did lots of work on it. We did it kind of frame up. Okay, go back to work and have a great day, man. And yeah, I was home from work at 11 a.m., which was nice. I was off work at 10:45, which was really nice. So I get off early. I start early, though. I was there at 4:45 a.m. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the live stream. And I appreciate you guys tuning into Jungle Josie, or video, not Jungle Josie Video Gates. Some of you tune into Jungle Josie Video Gates, but Gulf Island Rock. So the reason we call it Gulf Island Rock, and this is Wendy's channel, is because a lot of people that live here on this island call it the Rock, because a lot of places have very rocky soil. So that's why it's called Gulf Island Rock. We are located in the Gulf Islands, on the Gulf Islands, the southern Gulf Islands. It gets crapped out. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another live gate. We'll try to do some of these, more of them, throughout the nice months here on the Gulf Islands. So cheers, and have a good day, and I'm going to go finish... I'm going to finish some watering, and then I'm going to head into the radio shack. Cheers to you, and thanks again.